Hello everyone, I am Piyush Goyal and I welcome you to Voxcel's YouTube channel. So in this video we're gonna discuss about Cambridge IELTS General Training Book 19 First Test Section 3rd. So we have already discussed Section 1 and Section 2 of this particular test number 1 of Book 19. So if you haven't watched those videos, you can watch them later after watching this particular video. And for the time being, I want your undivided attention so that you can understand how to solve such questions. And without further delay, let's start. So if you have watched our previous videos, you should know the way we start our videos is by reading the title of the passage. So the title of this particular passage that we are dealing with today says emojis. So it's a quite common word and you must have heard of this word. So emojis are basically those faces that we send to our friends or the person we are sorry we are chatting with, okay, on your social media or on your mobile phones, you can say. So it should be something about that, but what exactly we cannot just understand or we cannot comprehend just by reading the title, because there is no much information given. Maybe there may be given when they started, how they started, who created them, why they were created, or maybe not. So but it will be a passage will be about emojis, or maybe their uses, is it good to use emojis or not, something like that. So we will see what kind of information is given when we will read it. But now what we will do is we will not read the passage just yet. We will go straight to the questions and see what kind of questions we are gonna deal with. So question 28 to 40. So we have questions 28 to 32 for the first set, and we have five sections obviously, and we have to find correct number for each section. So there are 8 headings and we have to write the correct heading in front of every section. For example, if we think the heading answer of heading 3 is in section A, we will write 3 in front of it. If we think section A has answer of 7 or 8, whatever the number may be, we will write that particular number. How to solve it, how to solve such questions, I will just come back to it. First we will see what type of questions we have to deal with in this particular set, and after that, so from 33 to 37 we have to deal with one word only, meaning to say we are dealing with blanks. So we are dealing with blanks, so we will read one, so we will have to write one word for each blank. And 38 to 40 we are dealing with multiple multiple choice questions, so we will have to pick one option out of these four. So they are quite easy. So we have understood what kind of questions we are going to deal with. So here you have two options to solve these kind of questions. First option is you can solve these two sets before. If you find list of headings difficult, you can solve your blanks and your multiple choice questions before. The benefit of this will be you will have to read the entire passage obviously, because you don't know where these words or the location of these option or questions are. So you will have to read the entire passage and come to the correct answer to find the correct answers. Second, okay, and then when you will have read the entire passage, you will get a general idea of where the question are to the where the answers are, okay, what kind of information is in every paragraph. Second way can be you can solve these questions first, like list of headings first, and after reading all the paragraphs you will get a like good sense what kind of information is in which paragraph, so you will be easily and quickly able to locate the remaining information. This can be your second way. And third way is mixture of both. Example, like just say, because you for solving these questions you have to read all these paragraphs, you cannot skip any paragraph, because every paragraph you have to write some answer in front of it. So whenever you read one paragraph and let's just say you found the answer to be number one for section A, what you can do is then you can go straight to these questions and then try to find the answer. Let's just say you are like importance of faces face with tears of joy. So you can read the first question or first two questions and see if you can find any locator word in this particular section or paragraph of this particular set, and then if it is in the first section or section A, you can write that answer. But if it's overwhelming for you as it is for some students, so you don't have to worry about that. Just complete the first set and then move to the second and third set. But do give a try to every option that I'm telling you, so that you can for yourself see what works best for you. So whatever works best, stick to that, practice that, so that you can get accustomed to it. So now what we'll do is we will go straight to the first paragraph, list of headings. We will try to solve list of headings, and then we will see if we feel confident enough, if we are feeling confident enough to come to this particular question or this. So okay, words of the year and faces with tears of joy. They are quite easy to remember words, but we'll first go to the first section. So now what we have to do is to solve this particular list of headings. Don't just jump to the first section like here and start reading everything. No, this is not a correct way to do it. What should you should do in rather is read all these options and see whether you are able to understand the meaning of each option clearly, and if there are any similarities or differences between two or more options, because you will not find the exact words or exact phrasing in this particular paragraph or any paragraph of these options. You will find synonyms and paraphrasing, sorry. So first option, why emojis may have a short life. So first option is talking about emojis, why they have short life, meaning to say why they don't last for long or may not last for long. Maybe they will be discarded in the future, something like that, and why it is that. Second question, so in whatever paragraph we are gonna find the answer why emojis will have short life or may have short life, we will mark number one in front of that question or that paragraph. Second, ways in which new emojis are designed and made available. So we in whatever paragraph there is a mention of ways in which like new emojis are designed and made available to public, like what are the thought processes or what is the thought process behind the designing of emojis, why how they are designed, why they are designed, something like that, about the methods or the thought process. We will say that paragraph answer is number 2. Third, how words and emojis both fulfill new needs in our society. So words and emojis, they are fulfilling new needs for our society. So because of something there is a new need, and words and emojis both are fulfilling those needs or that need, whatever they need, these needs are. How emojis, fourth option, how emojis are regarded in different ways by different cultures. So we have to understand in whatever paragraph it is given, like a particular emoji may mean something in a particular culture, but its meaning in other culture is entirely different. So same emoji but different places, like in different countries or in different cultures, its meaning is different. So if there is any information about this in any paragraph, we will mark our option number 4. Fifth option, the use of emojis in different fields and what this means for us. So we are using emojis in different fields, like maybe in education, in chatting, while formal, informal communication, marketing, whatever different field, there may be 2 or 3 different fields that may be given. Like they will not write in various fields, they may even give you 2 or 3 names of different fields and what this means for us. and what this like and usage or these particular criterion mean for us. So whatever these two information are given, we will mark that of paragraph over option number 5. Sixth, the rapid spread of a new way of interacting. So wherever there is given that the new way of interacting is spreading rapidly or spread rapidly, okay, we will write sixth option in front of that paragraph. Seventh, how and where emojis were first invented. So here we have to tell how and where emojis were first invented, like the beginning or the origin of the emoji. So let me just do this. How and where emojis were first invented. So you have to be very careful about these two ways in which emojis are designed. Number second, ways in which emojis are designed and made available. They are saying new emojis are designed. It's in the present, like how we are designing new emojis and how they are being made available to public. But the seventh option is saying how and where emojis were first invented, like the beginning. They are saying about the present, it is about the past. So you should be careful about number 2 and number 7. Eighth, the value of emojis for making feelings clear. So we are using emojis to make feelings, to make feelings clear. So with the help of emojis, we are trying to convey our feelings like happiness, sadness, anger, frustration, whatever our feeling is, our mood is, we are trying to make it clear with the help of emojis. So in whatever paragraph this information is given, we will write that option in front of the paragraph number. I hope it is clear what you have to do. Now what we will do is we will go straight to the first section, section A. We will try to read this section and try to find if there is any or not any, what option suits best for this, because it will have one answer. So there is difference between list of headings and paragraph. Paragraph contains information. So in that particular question where you have to write A, B, C in front of questions, there some paragraphs may have answers and some paragraphs may not have any answer, while some paragraphs may have two answers or sometimes three answers in one paragraph. But in this type of questions, list of headings where you have to write 1, 2, 3, 4 in front of the questions, every paragraph will only have one option as an answer and every paragraph will have an answer. Okay, now A paragraph. Language always changes, of course. This is one of the few constants about it. So this particular paragraph is saying that language always changes. There is no doubt about that. This is the few constant about. This is one of the few constants. So there are like few constant, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever the number is, more than one, and it is one of that. Like language will always change, but it's arguably changing at a faster rate now than at any previous moment in its history. But right now the speed of change is significantly faster than it was at any point in history. And emojis, the set of picture characters that people use to punctuate their online correspondence, are at the forefront of this frenzy for change. And emojis are like in the front, like in front of the line of this particular change. Like emojis are being used in this particular change, or emojis maybe they are responsible for creating this particular change. So now we see that section A is divided into 3 different paragraphs. So whenever this happens, a lot of students get confused, like in which paragraph the answer may be. So the answer can be according to the first, second or third, but most of the time answer will be either in whatever paragraph, like first, second or third of the section A. It will most likely be in the first 2 sentences or in the last sentence. So if the paragraphs are too long, so you can most probably find the answer in the first 2 sentences or the last sentence of the paragraph. But it's not always necessary you will find like this. So it's better and safer to read the entire passage, because you will have to read the entire passage, or you may probably need to read the entire passage, because you have to find the other two sets of questions as well. So, if according to this paragraph, why emojis may have short life, there is no mention like that. Ways in which new emojis are designed and made available. Is there anything about the designing and being made available to public? No, they have just told us what emojis are here. They have just said what emojis are, but there is no mention of the design and the made availability of the emojis. Third, how words and emojis both fulfill needs in our society. There is no mention of that either. Fourth, how emojis are regarded in different ways by different cultures. No mention of that. Fifth, the use of emojis in different fields and what this means for us. They are not saying in what kind of fields we are using emojis. They're just saying emojis that are at the forefront of this particular chain, and language is always changing. That's a core principle of this. Sixth, the rapid spread of a new way of interacting. So they are saying that language is changing at a faster rate than at any point in history, but there is no said that, like, there is no way, or we can say there is no mention of a new way of interacting. They are saying emojis, we can tell about that, but it's not clear up till now. So if we cannot find anything, we can write 6 because of this. But first we will read this, so maybe our answer will be clear in other two paragraphs. How and where, seventh option, how and where emojis were first invented. Obviously nothing is mentioned. The value of emojis for making feelings clear. There is no information regarding this. Second paragraph, as a form of global communication, emojis only began their growth in 2011. 4 years later, it was estimated that they were being used by over 90% of the online population. In excess of 6 billion. Okay, I will just give you some time. Okay, I will tell you this. The answer is in this particular section. So are you able to tell me which answer is this? So you have some seconds, you have 5 or so seconds to tell me the answer, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. I hope you figured out the correct answer. If not, don't worry, I will tell you which answer is correct and why it is correct. And our answer to this is number 6. So if uh, hopefully you got it right. If not, don't worry. So why sixth answer is correct? Because they are saying in the sixth option that the rapid spread of a new way of interacting. So as a form of global communication, emojis only began their growth in 2011. So they only being used, started to using, or they got really into use in 2011. Before that, like, not many people used it, so we cannot say it was a new way of interaction. In 2011 it started to become a new way of interaction, and 4 years later, over 90% of online population was using emojis. So that's quite a growth. So the rapid spread of a new way of interacting. So this is our, let me write here, question number 28. I hope it is clear. Now what we will do is we will read the other, like, remaining paragraph, so that we may find some, like, important words that could be useful when we are reading the next set of questions. In excess of 6 billion, and we will be sure that other options are not our answer. In excess of 6 billion words being sent every day. Their prevalence in the culture was such that Oxford Dictionaries recently chose one as their word of of the year, the words of the year. So this is in inverted commas, and I believe we have also read something about that. Words of the year are those judged to be reflective of ethos, moods, or preoccupations of that particular year. So what are words of the year? They are very much of their time, and often once that time has passed, they fade from people's consciousness almost as quickly as they arose. So they are telling that they are the word of the year. Basically, they reflect the mood of the people at that particular time in the period. And once the time has passed, they fade from the consciousness almost as quickly as they rose. So people forget about them. They are erased from their consciousness as quickly as they like were uh, uh, as quickly as they became popular, as quickly as they reached a height of popularity, something like that. So what we can do is, if you are comfortable in it, you can do is you can go to the multiple choice questions. So here, is it something mentioned about, let's see, faces with tear of joy? No, there is nothing about that. But I have read here word of the year. So you can do is you can do this question like side by side simultaneously, one after the other, you can say. But if you are not comfortable, just mark the important words as you go along. You don't have to read this. Okay, just mark the important words, and when we will reach to this particular question, we will know where the location of this word is. Hopefully it is clear. So what we'll do is we will not like do this. We will just mark the important words. So for the 39th question, its usefulness of emojis is limited. So wherever we are finding the usefulness of emojis, there will be our answer. And 40th, what would be the best subtitle? So here there is no particular location. We have to read the entire and see which option suits the best. And here the best option, oh sorry, the this is here, wherever where we'll find tears of joy, that will be our location. But what we'll do is we will just focus on these questions for now. There's a good chance that the emoji chosen by Oxford dictionaries, the face of here, the face of tears of joy, will also appear to be dated in a few years. But the reasons for this offer a fascinating insight into the way that society is evolving. The little yellow circle with dots for eyes acts as surprisingly good lens through which to view the history of human communication and to predict the future. Okay, if I talk about other options, why emojis may have short life, we don't have any explanation why they will have a short life. They just said people forget about them as quickly as they arose. Their popularity made them like famous, but why it will be the case, we don't have the answer to why in any of the paragraphs. So it cannot be the answer. Ways in which new emojis are designed, there is no mention of that. There is no mention of how words, because words are not mentioned, they are just saying what are words of the year, but there is no mention like why words are important or how words serve our society. Fourth, how words are regarded in different ways, but there is no mention of different cultures. Fifth, the use of emojis in different fields, we are not using in different fields. Sixth, we have marked this as our option. First invented, there is no mention about that, and there is no mention of emojis making feeling clear. There is like faces with tears of joy, but it is not used like to tell the value of this particular emoji to make our feelings clear to person we are talking with or chatting with. So that's why 6 is the best option suitable for this particular section. I hope it is clear. Moving to the next, B. There are two main sorry, There are two main reasons why language changes. One is to do with the way that language mirrors the changes in how we relate to each other. So they are saying that there are two main reasons why language change. So we have been given the reasons why language change. One is to do with the language mirrors the changes in how we relate to each other. Like with time, our relation with each other evolves. Like maybe 200 years ago, 500 years ago, 1000 years ago, we how we relate with our neighbors or how we lived as a society, it was different. So the words we used that time were different, or the context of their usage was different to the context we use now, or the words we use now. So that's the reason why it changes. As an expression of identity, language is adapted by different groups and different generations to reflect their own sense of self. So, as an expression of as an expression of identity, language is adapted by different groups and different generations to reflect their own sense of self, like what they feel, how they feel. Words are used according to that. It also needs to constantly assimilate fresh concepts as these evolve. So it's also needs to like assimilate, basically adapt, because we are constantly like refreshing these words or our vocabulary, adding new words, deleting old words, making them obsolete, something like that. So these also evolve with time. Okay, let's see if any option suits our this particular section or this particular part of the section. First, why emojis have a short line? There is no mention of that. Ways in which new emojis are designed. There is no mention of how we design emojis. Third, how words and emojis both fulfill needs in our society. There is mention of words, why words are needed, because they reflect our relation to the society, but there is no mention of emoji right now, so we cannot say third. Fourth, how emojis are regarded in different ways by different cultures. Many students will say different groups, different generation, and they will mark fourth as an answer. But is it the correct answer? No, because we don't. Firstly, there is no mention of emojis here. There is just mention of language, how language is used, what language is, what the purpose of language is, or what the purpose of language has been. Okay, but there is no mention of this particular word emoji. Okay, second, this is written as different ways by different cultures. So they're just saying different groups and different generation, like they adapt language according to themselves. So there is no mention of emojis here also. So this cannot be our answer. Fifth, the use of emojis in different fields, and what this again emojis is not there. Again, there is no rapid spread, or and obviously we have written it. So let me do this. Okay. Seventh, how and where emojis no first invented. There is no mention of that. The values of emojis for making feelings clear. There is no mention of emojis, obviously. Second paragraph, words are being created for these reasons all the time. So why words are needed? Because we need to express ourselves, we need to relate something. Okay, but what's interesting about emojis is that they have contributed to this ever expanding storehouse in a different way. But emojis have also contributed to this particular concept. At this point in our history, the gaps in our vocabulary are being filled not simply by new words but by an absolutely new system of expression. And at this particular time in history, let me just remove this. So at this point in our history, the gaps in our vocabulary are not only filled by words but also by this system of expression. And this system of expression, first, there are two systems of expressions, words, and second is emojis. So again, now I will give you 5 seconds or so to tell me the answer. Till I will give you the time till I'm writing this, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. I hope you figured it out, and the answer to this question is answer number 3. How words and emoji both fulfill. So they are saying not only words but also emojis, our new needs in society. Okay. So new words, new system. So new needs. So because our needs are constantly evolving, so here it is written, it also needs to constantly assimilate fresh concepts as these evolve. So that's why words are created for these reasons all the time. And but what's interesting about emojis is that they have contributed to this ever expanding storehouse in a different way. So we are using emojis also. I hope it is clear. Moving on to the next paragraph. C. The second major reason that language changes is down to technology. Specifically, the ways in which the technologies we use have an effect on the process of communication itself. So, C paragraph is saying that the second major reason, so first major reason is being like there are two reasons why. One is to do with how we relate with each other, and for that it is constantly changing our relation. So we need words and emojis. And second reason is that to technology, specifically the ways in which technologies we use have an effect on the process of communication itself. So second is the effect of technology. Okay, let me mark this effect of technology on communication itself. Like in the past, how we used to communicate with each other. So let us interact a bit. You should try to answer my questions because it will not only help you understand the nuances of the language here, but it will prepare you better for your writing and your speaking as well. You will be able to come up with your ideas and that to relevant ideas that more quickly. So how we used to communicate in the past? Yes, by writing letters. Very good. And now how we communicate at present, how we communicate nowadays with the help of social media. So this is the difference between the ways we which communicated in the past and in the present. So that's the effect of communication we have. And now the way we use words is entirely different. Like in the past we used to write like full words, but now we just write like short forms, or we have made our own slangs. So that's the effect of communication. Both hardware and new technologies result in us subtly changing the way we interact with each other, and also altering the shape of language we use. So that's the way they are telling that just I have discussed with you this. They are changing the way we interact and also altering the language we use. So let's say in the past, like before the use of mobile phones, we used to write letters and we used to write full words in it. But now we just use short forms. Like many of you write F9 for fine instead of writing FINE. And similarly, some typos you can easily read through them, but you and many of us use other slangs for like saying okay, we are just writing K, okay, and things like that, like for as soon as possible, ASAP, and for in my opinion, IMO, things like that. Okay, so that's the effect of technology on our use of language. So now we have read this. So in this particular paragraph, C section, first paragraph, they have written the effect of technology, and second, this is the second reason, the technology. That's why we are changing our language. It is having impact on our language. First, emojis have short life. There is no mention of that. Second, the ways in which new emojis are designed and made. No, there is no mention of the emojis again. No mention of emojis. So fourth, no mention of emojis. Again, there is emoji. There is no mention of emojis. Fifth, sixth, we have done that. Seventh, again, first invented. There is no mention of emojis. The values of emojis for making feelings clear. Again, there is no mention of emojis. So from this paragraph, we cannot relate to any of the answers. So we have to write the second one. Emojis. So here something about emojis. So any option can be our answer. Emojis have evolved as a solution to the needs of mobile communication. So we are using emojis so as to solution for our needs of mobile communication. In particular, they compensate for the way that computer mediated messages on smartphones can sometimes tend towards the emotionally empty. So they are like when we let me mark these words. When we talk on our smartphones, when we talk on chat, or when we are chatting with like on our social media platforms, or like Instagram, WhatsApp, Snapchat, whatever platform you are using, if you they are saying that if you don't use emojis, your tone may not be clear, like are you happy, are you sad. It will then be up to the reader how they are reading that particular text. They can be reading that you may be perfectly happy and you are sending that messages in a positive way, but if they are reading in a negative tone, the messages may sound negative. This is where emojis come into play. So they are saying emojis fill, compensate for this particular emptiness in that conversation. So if you like if you made like smiley emojis, if you send smileys emojis, but in like after sending your text or at last of your text, they will get to know you are happy with the particular message, in that particular message, something like that. Whereas face to face or even voice to voice conversations can express emotional closeness through facial expressions or tone of voice. This is easy to miss when messages are rendered in a few short words on a small screen. So they are saying what is missing while we are chatting. So this particular thing we cannot understand while let me change the color. This particular thing is difficult to understand while we are chatting online without any context. Emojis are a means of restoring this emotional framing to an interaction, punctuating your message with a smile. So emojis are a means of like restoring this emotional emptiness. So they restore the emptiness that's present in that message. Now, first option, I will give you few seconds. Just take 5 seconds or so, roughly 10 seconds. I will give you 10 seconds to tell me the answer. And the time starts now. Okay, time's up. Now, I hope you arrived at the correct answer. If not, don't worry, I will tell you. And the correct answer to this option is option option number 8. I hope you all got it right. So see, the option 8 is saying the value of emojis for making feelings clear. So let me mark this also. Why I'm not able to do this for the last option? I don't know. Okay, so option number 8 is saying that the value of emojis for making feelings clear. So here they are saying emojis, they are like method to compensate for your emotional emptiness. So because when you are talking face to face or even voice to voice, from your facial expressions, let me mark this. From your facial expressions they can easily understand are you into them or not. Okay, or are you happy while talking to them. From your tone of voice they can understand are you willing or are you interested in them in their talks or not. But on messages it can sometimes be quite difficult to understand, so that's when emojis come into play. They like restore that particular emptiness, they fill in that particular gap, and they convey your feelings much better. So that's why eighth option will be our answer. I hope it is clear. Moving on to the next one, option number D. But unlike almost any other type of language system, emojis have something akin to a built-in obsolescence. So obsolescence just refers to basically uh, things that will not longer be in use in the future maybe. Okay, so like any other type of language system, emojis have their built-in they will become obsolete. Okay, not in use anymore. Just as smartphones and operating systems have a frequent refresh rate, emojis also get routine enhancements. They are saying that like smartphones and operating system, your OSs, like they have frequent refresh rates. Emojis also they get routine enhancements, like they are regularly enhanced, routinely enhanced. The emojis you have on your phone now will undergo subtle redesigns over the course of time, and extra characters will be added. So like the emojis we are using on our phones right now, they will undergo subtle meaning to say that things that are not easily detectable, they will go such kind of redesigns over the course of time, like after some years or some months they will be constantly refreshed, so that people do not get basically bored of them, or basically according to new moods or new, you can say, ways of conveying your emotions. So extra characters will be added, so new things will be added, and because of this their usefulness is artificially limited, and due to that their usefulness is limited. It's not like unlimited, they will be here forever. They will be like become obsolete in the near future, one day or like after some time. Okay, so if we read the option, first option, why emojis have a short life, can this be the answer? I will not tell you right now. I will just read the options. Second, ways in which new emojis are designed and made available. Here, do you read something about new designs and being made available? I will give you time to think about that, if this is the answer or not. Third, we have done it. Fourth, how emojis are regarded in different ways by different cultures. Uh, is there anything about different cultures and viewing emojis in a different way? Fifth, the use of emoji in different fields and what it means for us. Seventh, how and where emojis were first invented. Okay, so you have some time to uh, tell me if there is any answer in this or not, and your 10 seconds or so start now. Okay, time's up. And our answer according to this paragraph is, I will write it here. Just give me one sec. Number one. I hope you arrived at the right answer. You figured out it correctly. If not, don't worry. I will tell you. I will tell you why this is the right answer. Why it will be number one. So first option is saying why emojis may have a short life. So there in the first sentence it is said that like unlike almost any other system, emojis are like built-in obsolescence. Meaning to say they will become obsolete, but it doesn't happen with other language systems. Okay, so first let me do this. So it doesn't happen with other language systems. It only happens with the emojis. And here they are saying like operating systems like smartphones and operating system, they get frequent refresh rates, emojis get enhancements, and in the last they say because of this their usefulness is artificially limited, and they're saying that undergo subtle redesigns over the course of time and new characters will be added. So that's why they may have short life. So here, from here, by reading this, we can easily say that this is the location of our question number. Oh, sorry about that. 31. I hope it is clear. So what we will do is, again we will read the other paragraphs also, so that we can be sure that this is our correct answer. And if we're gonna read any keywords, or you can say important words here in this particular paragraph, in the context of communication system, this is something that has never previously been the case. 20 years ago, people might have bought a new landline, or when they were tired of design of their old phone, or if they wanted to get with whatever latest innovation was going around, an inbuilt answering machine say, but they didn't have to upgrade the language they were using. So they are saying that communication systems like 20 years ago, if people wanted to change their phone, they would have bought a new landline, or if they wanted to keep up to date, them they want to keep themselves up to date with the new innovations. Okay, so for the latest innovation they will get like inbuilt answering machine, but they never had to change the way they talked or the language they used. That means we are changing our language, we are changing the way we talk with each other. So this is something about that. Emojis, on the other hand, are a case study of how technology and human capacity for communication are working together. So emoji, like on the other hand, basically instead of the other words you use in our language, the words emojis, they are a case study of how technology and human capacity for communication are working together, of how the onward march of technology exists at the intersection of consumerism, innovation and design. So what will happen in the future, or what is gonna happen in the future, or something like that. Moreover, so another reason, the fact that they are at the front line of a relentless wave of technologically driven change in communications practices encourages, if not necessitates, a great amount of creativity in the way they are used. They are also here, they are saying that the fact that like emojis are and like at the front of the line, meaning to say they are the first one that will be changed. Why? Because there is a relentless wave, non-stop wave of technologically driven change in communication practices. Not because it is necessary, but because like it enhances creativity, because a great amount of creativity in the way they are used. Okay, so here we can also say they will have short life because they will be changed because of relentless wave of technologically driven communication practices. Okay, I hope it is clear. So that's why other options cannot be our answer. First option is best suited. Okay, moving on to the last section, E. So it is only one paragraph long. So let's see. Finally, there's the way they have become implicated in almost all aspects of modern society, from politics and marketing to art and entertainment. So here they are saying that the way they have become, here they have refers to emojis. Okay, they have become like implicated, attached to almost all aspects of modern society, and they are saying from politics and marketing to art and entertainment. Emojis are the subject of musicals and Hollywood films, so they are also in the entertainment industry. Like here they are saying entertainment, they have given examples of musicals and Hollywood films. They are the inspiration for fashion design and architecture, so they are used in this also. They are a staple in advertising and commerce, again they are used in advertising and commerce as a staple. Understanding why they have become so popular and how they work. So we have to understand why and how can not only explain something about the nature of language, it can explain about the nature of language. It can also help us to understand. So it can also, let me just help to understand our relationship with technology, society, and ourselves. So the understanding how why it has become so popular, they have become so popular, and how they work. It can help us to do these two things. So now you have 10 seconds to tell me the what is the answer. So the remaining options are number 2, 4, 5, and 7. Eighth option we have done it, but I'm not able to like do this. Now you have 10 seconds and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. I hope you figured out the right answer. And the correct answer is, let me write it here. Just give me 1 second. Answer number 5. I hope you got it right. If not, don't worry, I will tell you why. Here the option is saying the use of emojis in different fields and what this means for us. So we have to find two things: use of emojis in different fields, and second was what this means for us. So here are the different fields: politics, marketing, art, entertainment, fashion design, art, architecture, advertising, commerce. So these are our different fields, and what it means for us. If we understand why and how they work, we can understand about the nature of language and our relationship with technology, society, and ourselves. So we can learn these things from technology or use of emojis basically. So let me write the question number here. Question number 32. Sorry about that. I hope it is clear. So that's why we are giving this fifth. We are writing fifth option because both options are answered in this. So if I talk about the remaining second, new emojis are designed and made available. We haven't read about this. Let me do this. We haven't read about this anywhere, so it cannot be our answer. Fourth, different ways by different cultures. We haven't read about that, and we haven't read in any paragraph where and how emojis were invented. So these are our options that are remaining. Okay, I believe I know. Just have to do this. Let's see if I can do this now because I was no, still no. Okay, this is our. These are our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 answers. First option, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and eighth. Hope they are clear. Now what we have done is we have read all the paragraphs, and hopefully we will be easily able to identify the two sets of questions that are remaining. And now we are going to move to the blanks section. Okay, question number 33 to 37. For this we have to use one word only, meaning to say we cannot write more than one word here. So we have already marked like face with tears of joy. Here we have read the face with tears of joy. So what I could have done is when I read this, I could have read this question and marked the answer there. It is easy for me, but for some student it's quite overwhelming. And if you are one of those who will find it or who may find it overwhelming, don't have to worry, you can do like this the way I'm doing it right now. But if you are one of those students who doesn't care, or that is who doesn't get overwhelmed by this, you are more than welcome, be my guest, you can do it simultaneously. There is no one correct way, do whatever way you prefer.
Okay, I have talked like the three ways you can do solve reading, and you can do any of the three ways. They are all correct. So in English there is a saying, as I always tell my students, no one size fits all. So there is no one size that can fit all every person in the world. That's why we have different sizes for different people. Okay, so similarly, do whatever suits you, do whatever works best for you, and stick to that. Don't go and change, don't go changing everything all the time. Practice by different, using different techniques, and whatever technique works for you the best, stick to that. Don't worry what others are doing. So we will do this question now without further delay. Let's read the question. It is probably that before it is probable that before long an emoji such as the face with tears will seem dash. So question is saying that it is probable means possible, that before long. So what does before long means here in this context? I'll give you 2-3 seconds to tell me your answer. Yes, before long means not for long, like after few months or few years. An emoji such as face with tears of joy will seem something, will seem boring, like some kind of emotion or some sort of quality, basically. So if you haven't given the answer, I encourage you, whenever I ask a question, you should respond diligently. Okay, you should take it very seriously. Do not just go on and just keep silent, because even if you like guess the wrong answer, if you, even if you don't know the word and you guess the wrong answer, you should not like feel nervous, or you should not feel ashamed or shy or anything negative emotion like that, because nobody is listening to you. You are alone, or even if you are watching it with your friend, both of you will learn, because if you don't activate your vocabulary, you will not able to learn new words. So let's see. Face with tears of joy. Here it is written. There's a good chance then that the emoji chosen by Oxford Dictionary, the face with tears of joy, will also appear to be dated in a few years. So first I will give you 5 seconds. Tell me the answer, and then I will tell you why this is the answer and what are the other words. You should also match other words like where it is written before long or things like that. Okay, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. And your answer to this question is dated. I hope you arrived at the correct answer. If not, don't worry, I will tell you why this is the correct answer and where are the rest of the words. Here you can easily match face with the tears of joy. That is quite easy to understand. And after that, here in this paragraph, they have written in a few years, and in a few years before long. So before long is paraphrased with the words in a few years. Will seem, here they have written will appear to be. So appear to be, will seem. Dated. So dated, if I talk in simpler words, it will mean outdated. So outdated, in shorter term you can say dated, meaning to say out of fashion, out of trend. So that's why this is our answer. I hope it is clear why dated is our answer and where are other words that you had to match. And if you were not able to like match these words, you should be practice like that, so that you can always get to the right answer, arrive at the right answer every time without fail. Moving on to the next question, question number 34. This is of interest as it tells us about developments in dash, providing an effective way to focus on both the dash and the future of human communication. So first we will just focus on question number 34. So the third question number 34 is saying this is of interest as it tells us about developments in dash. So with in what kind of word you are trying to associate? In something, okay, in developments in the field, something like that, okay, in some sort of conceptual terms. So let's see. But the reasons for this is but the reasons for this offer a fascinating insight into the way that society is evolving. The little yellow circle with dots for eyes acts as a surprisingly good lens through which to view the history of human communication and to predict its future. So there are obviously the words human communication. Here is written human communication. So we know our location is from here to here. Okay, so I will just help you this bit. From here to here, you have your answer number 34. So you have, let's say, 5 or so seconds to tell me the answer, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. So I'm gonna write the correct answer here. So the correct answer to this question is society. Let me do this. Okay, now if you were not able to figure out the correct answer, don't worry, I'll tell you why this is the answer. So here the words are saying this is of interest as. So here they are saying offer a fascinating insight. So if something interests you, it basically fascinates you. So as it tells about the developments in something, so here they are saying society is evolving. If something is evolving, basically it's developing. So evolution basically refers to the development of humans, so or anything, so anything that evolves, evolution refers to the development. So that's why it will be our answer to question number 34. Sorry about that. Answer to question number 34. I hope it is clear why it is society, because in has to be with something, like in this field, or we have to write one word obviously. So in society, and this is of interest, offers a fascinating insight, developments evolving. Clear? Now 35th, providing an effective way to focus on both the dash and the future of human communication. So here they are saying, so there are two things that we have to read in this. One is future of human communication, and basically means second thing. So you have to find the second thing, and obviously the answer will be in this particular sentence. So again, let me. So again, you have 5 or so seconds to figure out the answer, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. So I will write the answer here, then I will tell you why that is the answer. And the correct answer is history. Hope you figured out the correct one, you arrived at the correct one. And if not, I'll tell you why this is the correct answer, and you should also says why, if you have marked any other option or any other word in this case, why it is not the correct answer. So here they are saying providing an effective way to focus on both. So they are saying a surprisingly good lens through which to view history, to focus on two things, history and the dash, history of human communication, So what students may do is they will say human communication. So human communication has been written and to predict its future. So here it's what does it's refer to in this particular case? It is a referencing pronoun and it is referencing to human communications. So predict human communications future. So future of human communication. Sorry about that. So it's quite difficult. I don't know why it's becoming difficult for me. So it is predicting future of human communication. So prediction telling about future, and it is history of human communication. So both dash and dash of human communication, history and prediction. So that's why our answer to this question would be history. Let me mark it. Question number 35. I hope it is clear why history is the answer. So I hope you don't have any doubts on this, because I am again repeating it because it might be confusing for some students. They will say future human communication is written, human communication is written. So why history? Why not predict or something like that? Because predict is a verb and it is used to tell about future. But here the is written. Okay, let me do this also. Here the is written and obviously it should be a noun. So here the is also written. Now I hope it is clear. Moving on to the next question, number 36. Changes in language reflect changes in people's relationships. They reflect the ways in which the dash of groups and generations change over time. So this option is saying that whatever changes in language, what it reflects changes in people's relationship. So whatever the relationship you have with one another, it reflects with the change of language. They reflect the ways in which the refers to, there should be some sort of noun here, groups and generation changes over time. So we have read something about different groups, different generations, and it's in the B paragraph. Here it is, we have underlined it also. So we will read from this beginning. Obviously there are two main reasons why language changes. One is to do with the way that language mirrors the changes in how we relate to each other. So here is the location of this particular word. Changes in language reflect changes in people relationship, how we relate to each other. They reflect the ways in which the dash of groups and generation changes over time. As an expression of identity, language is adapted by different groups and different generations to reflect their own sense of self. So obviously our answer should be between these words. So you have 5 or so seconds to guess the answer. Not only, I will not say guess, to find out the correct answer, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up, and I'm gonna write the correct answer here, and let's see if you arrived at the correct answer or not. And the correct answer is identity. I hope you arrived at the correct answer. You got it right. If not, don't worry. Here it is. Just let me write question number 36. Now, I will tell you how we arrived at this answer. Say they are saying that they reflect the ways in which dash of groups and generation changes over time. So here they have said as expression of identity. So the ways in which dash of groups, identity of groups, is a language is adapted by different groups to reflect the sense of own. So changes over time. So this is reflection, but that's why we change. Here they are saying reasons of change. Here they have said reasons of change. I hope it is clear. So 37th, and they allow new dash to be included. Okay. It also, okay, needs to constantly assimilate fresh concepts as these evolve basically change. So here it changes over time, so that's why we know this is evolve. And obviously our answer should be in this sentence. And again, you know our pattern, our rule, you will have 5 seconds or so to figure out the correct answer, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Now I will write the correct answer here, and let's see if you got it right. And our correct answer is concepts. So if you got it right, congratulations. If not, no worries at all. I will tell you why this is the answer. So here they have said the keyword, they allow new dash to be included, and here they are saying uh, also needs to constantly assimilate basically means adapt. In include, if you're included something, you are adapting something. And here the keyword is new, and for new they have written fresh. So that's why fresh concepts, new concepts. Our concepts will be our answer. Hope it is clear. Moving on, let me just write the question here. Question number 37. Now 38 to 40. What does the writer say about words of the year? So we have read words of the year here first. What we will do is we will read these options, and then we will see what option is correct and which why other options are incorrect also. First option, they include increasing numbers of emojis. So what does the writer say about these things? Do they include increasing number of emojis? If there's something about increasing number of emojis, we'll say this is the option. They are soon forgotten by the public, so people forget them soon, like they don't use them for too long basically. If they do so, we'll say B is our answer. C, they are required to have social significance. So words of the year should have some social significance. They cannot be random words. They are invented by writers of dictionaries. So these words are only those words that are invented by those people who write dictionaries. Meaning to say they will not choose words that are invented by commoners or things like that. Okay. Let's see what the words of the year refer to here. Words of the year are those, so what are those? Judged to be reflective of the ethos, mood, or preoccupations of the particular year. So to that particular year, that mood or that refers to the preoccupations. They are very much of their time, and often once that time has passed, they fade from people's consciousness almost as quickly as they arose. So what the writer is saying here, like often once the time has passed of that particular word, people forget them as quickly as they become famous. So they are word of that particular year. So according to this particular information on our hand, what option should be our answer? You will have 5 seconds or so to tell me the answer, and the time starts now. Okay, time's up, and our correct answer is, yes, tell me. Yes, this one, B option. Because why? They are saying they fade from people's consciousness almost as quickly as basically they fade from people's memory as quickly as they were like as they became famous, they became obsolete. So they are soon forgotten by the public. First option cannot be the answer because there is nothing mentioned about increasing number of emojis. So this option cannot be our answer. Let me do this. So that's why this option cannot be our answer. C, they are required to have social significance. No, they just represent to be reflected to be the mood or the preoccupation or ethos. Whether they had any social significance or not is not relevant. They are just these words that are famous in that particular year. So after that year, whether they have any significance or not, or even in that year, whether they had any social significance or not, or were they just fad words, we don't know. We don't have any information on that. D, they are invented. There is nothing about that. They are telling that they are those words which are reflective of these three things, not by the writers of dictionary. So that's why these three options cannot be our answer. Hope it is clear. Moving on to the next question. The writer says that usefulness of emojis is limited because. So we have read somewhere about the usefulness of emojis. Do you remember? Okay. So that also was one of our answers. Here it is. Usefulness of emojis. B paragraph. Here I am talking. Let me just highlight this. Here it is written. Just 1 second, guys. Here it is written, usefulness of emojis. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna read our options and see what is written in the options, and then we will see what option or which option is correct. First option, they are constantly being changed. So why the usefulness of emojis is limited? Because they are constantly being changed. So they are being changed over time. So if I remember correctly, from that particular part of my memory, I can easily mark our answer, but I will not do anything right now. We will just read the options and then I will give you some time to figure out the answer yourself. B option, they may not be correctly interpreted, so people may misinterpret them. C, they are difficult for some people to update, something about updation, and so for some people it's not easy task. D, they are linked to specific operating systems. So they are linked to some particular operating system like Android OS or Apple iOS, something like that. Okay, so this is our location as I already told you. So you have 5 seconds or so to tell me the answer, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. And let's see if you arrived at the correct answer or not. And the answer to this question is option number A. So here, let me mark also. From here to here, not only question number 31, we have answer of, where is question number 39. So why it is the answer? Because they are saying that the emojis you have now will undergo subtle redesigns over the course of time, and extra characters will be added. Because of this, their usefulness is artificially limited. So because they will change constantly, so you cannot use them forever even if you want to, because operating systems will update them, and they are one day they are there and next day poof, gone. Okay, so why B cannot be our answer? Because there is no mention, like people, some people like understand them incorrectly or things like that, do not proper understand them, difficult to update. They are talking about here operating system. Let me do this. They are talking about operating system, but they are talking about routine enhancements, updates also, but they are not talking about whether people are like finding it difficult or not. So they are linked to specific operating system. So they have said about operating system, but they have not told that it can be used only in particular operating system like iOS or Android operating system, something like that. So that is not the case. I hope it is clear. Moving to the next one. Last, what would be the best subtitle for this text? Okay, for this we will have to use our understanding if we want to find out the subtitle. First option, will emojis take over from words one day? So, in the entire passage, we have not read anything about the future, that in the future emojis will take over one day. Sorry about that. First, I will give you some time. So, you know, A cannot be the answer from B, C, and D. Let's see what is our answer. B option, how can emojis be made more meaningful? So, here the question is saying that how can we make emojis more meaningful, like how can they convey better messages better in a better way? Are emojis used too much in today's society? So here it is about the usage of society, the usage in our society. What do emojis tell us about the world we live in? And this is question is asking what emojis tell us about the world we currently live in. So here they're saying will emojis take over words one day? So now you have roughly 10 seconds to tell me the answer, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Let's see if you got it right. Okay. As we have discussed, first cannot be our answer. So out of B, C, and D, what you have marked? Tell me your answer. Okay. If you have marked D option, congratulations, you figured it out correctly. Now I will tell you why D is our answer. So we have already discussed why A cannot be answer, because in any text we haven't read whether emojis will take over from words one day or not. So in fact they were saying both are used to convey messages on digital platforms. So here I think it was here. Let me see in which paragraph it was written that both. Here emojis they fill the gap that is left in our technology. No, not here. It was where it was. Here, sorry, here it is written emojis they compensate our emotionally empty messages. So they are working in tandem with words, they will not overtake words one day. B cannot be our answer because there is nothing about the developments, like how we can develop emojis in the future to convey better messages or something like that. So it cannot be our answer. See, there is mention about we use it today, but there it is not, paragraph is not about, or most of the passages are not about whether we are using it too much and we should reduce our usage. There is no suggestions to reducing or things like that, or how much time we are spending. Here they are saying that in the first paragraph itself, from 2011, 90% of online population used emojis. Okay, yes, it is written, but it is nowhere to be inferred that we are using it too much. So 90% people are using emojis. Online population is using emoji, but are they using too much or are they using like limited amount of emojis? We don't know about that particular. So D. How is D our answer? Because they are saying because of constant involvements, evolving of the digital platforms, we are changing our way we relate to each other. Our communication reflects the society we live in. So we have read about things like that constantly in all the paragraphs, and because of that, we will say D is our answer. I hope it is clear. Okay, so if you still have any doubts on any particular question, you are more than welcome to rewatch that particular part of the video, or if you want to watch the entire video again and again, you can, until it is crystal clear, perfectly clear to you why a particular answer is the answer to a particular question, and why it is so, and why other answers are not the correct answer. Until you are clear in your head about these things, only then go to the next question or the next video. If you are not, because in the exam you will not get readings, like if you do 1,000 readings, but if you don't focus on how to solve it and what common mistakes you are making, you will not make progress. So focus on videos, watch videos like watch this video or my other videos, so that you can understand how the questions are solved, why an answer is the answer to a particular question, and why other answers are incorrect. So if you understand this, if you understand the nuances of the questions, how a particular question type should be solved and how the answer should be found, so if you do this, you will see improvement in your reading. So even if you haven't seen a reading, that is basically meaning to say, if you are doing reading for the first time, even then you can get all the answer correct in the first attempt. So in the exam, obviously you will get one attempt only, so that's why it's important to understand your weaknesses. So that's it for this particular video, and if you want our help, I'm gonna leave the link to my website in the description box. You can contact us there and we will be happy to help you. You can also enroll in our course, that is one of the most, if not the most extensive course on IELTS, that covers all the 4 modules: reading, listening, writing and speaking. So if you are struggling in your writing and or speaking, maybe in your reading and or listening, or all the 4 modules, you can buy that course. It will help you, make you understand why you are struggling in any particular module or in any particular parameter, and how to solve any particular question, or if you're not getting band 7 in your writing and or speaking, why it is so, and what you have to do to achieve that. So that's it for this particular video. I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care and goodbye.